Welcome to this week's edition of One Gotta Go. You know the drill. 4 topics. Pick one that gotta go. Chris, what are the results from last week?
Last week for Blue Eye Soul Artist, Robin Thicke gotta go.
Lance Bass over there.
See Last Bass?
I was gonna say, who's the last one on the list?
Last Bass? Like, why would I have any other figure but Justin Timberlake?
Don't even look like Timberlake.
Got a Justin Timberlake action figure, but you voted him off.
That's because this is my Justin Timberlake, not Sexy Back. Not Love Feature Sex Soul, not the country.
NSYNC
Justin Timberlake. NSYNC Justin Timberlake. Not Cry Me a River. All right.
Still upset over it, huh? All right, get into this week.
This week we're going with HBO series, some of the more notable ones. A, The Sopranos, B, Sex and the City, C, The Wire, or D, Game of Thrones.
Now, was there any reason why these 4 were selected? Did you go off of total viewership, popularity? What? Because there's a plethora of HBO series like Fire, True Blood, Entourage.
You want me to put up Hooker's Point? You want me to put up
Curb,
Confessions? Yeah, hell yeah.
Jackson, Real Sex Diaries? That's a separate show.
You going back to the shit?
There's a whole other one right there. HBO Late Night.
Yeah,
right there.
Yeah, you going back to the time whenever we got the HBO guidebook in the mail and you got to turn the page to see what time shit was coming on.
and then you got the real old ones like First and 10 and Dream On and all that stuff.
Like, to me, these are the more
Amazing.
notables. You got your Boardwalk Empires and all that, but like True Blood and all that. But these, I feel like, were the more notable ones. So that's why I just rolled with these ones.
That hooked everybody.
Yeah.
So for me, I got to get rid of Game of Thrones only because I've never watched a single episode of Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was out at a time whenever I was poor and didn't have HBO, so I didn't watch Game of Thrones. Like, that simple. I didn't see it. I didn't catch the hype. And then I heard all the backlash on the last season, and now that I, paying the $9.99 for HBO Max right now, it was like, do I want to go back and invest 8 seasons worth of time only to be disappointed because of how everybody crapped on the ending of the show? Don't know if I necessarily want to do that. But it's not from a dislike or like thing. It's just because I've never seen a single episode, so I can't comment on the show at all.
Sopranos is the GOAT for me. That I can go back and watch that show anytime, over and over again. I'm going to agree with Steve. For me, I've watched 1 episode, though. I didn't turn on the first episode of Game of Thrones just to see if it was something I wanted to check out. Didn't hook me at all. Game of Thrones can go.
You got to give it time. You got to let it simmer. Let it simmer.
And I'm going with like Steve and Chris. I never watched The Wire at all, so
well, that's not surprising.
Yeah, so I just got done putting 10 years of Oz in, so I wasn't gonna go back and watch like another.
Oz,
yes, Oz was great. Oz was great, but I never watched The Wire, so just based on that have to go. I watched the other 3 full-fledged.
The Wire is up there with one of the top 4 best well-written shows of all time.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I just never went back to watch it. I mean,
I'm
in time I will, but I just never.
I haven't watched much of The Wire. I credit my roommate for like always bootlegging the CDs or the DVDs, so it was always in the apartment. So I've seen a few episodes, but for me, it was like, why do I want to watch this when I live this shit? but it's not coming off the list. And Game of Thrones, I want to say season 8 dropped. I've never seen the episode of Game of Thrones, and they was like hyping up season 8 coming. I sat there and got hooked for 7 straight seasons, and now I'm a Game of Thrones fan. It wasn't even anything I think I'd even want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I've enjoyed it. That's number 1 for me. Seen Sopranos. I enjoy it. I haven't watched every season. Sex and the City got to go for me.
4 white women talking about sex and Jason's kicking them off.
I did not see that one coming.
Hey, look, I love Kim Cattrall. I know that one. I know her. Everybody else can go.
Out of these 4 shows up there, Sex and the City would be my number 1.
Of course.
Out of the 4,
But
I
I
mean out of the 4. Oh yeah. I'm not talking about that, man. I'm just it's well written. I love
No,
it.
it is.
Of it.
We know him in the Snow Queens.
It's a good show.
They ain't going nowhere.
Hang on. It's not my top HBO show.
Okay.
What is
But
your
out
top?
of these 4,
I
like
didn't.
Oz.
I didn't watch the
I
whole
like-
thing. I saw
I
an
like-
episode here and there.
Oz
Yes,
is probably
it
my
was.
favorite, and 6 Feet Under was very good too.
Oh, that's a good show too.
6 Feet Under. 6 Feet Under is a little underrated when it comes to the HBO discography of shows. I think doesn't get the credit that it deserves.
It doesn't.
I feel
mean, they
you-
have a shit ton to pick from. A shit
the,
ton.
the one that I put up there in my top 4, top 5 is Deadwood.
Okay.
Deadwood was on for 3 seasons and then it ended, and then they came back and did some stuff. I think they put out a movie. But that show, man, them first 3 seasons, if they would have got, they would have been able to come to an agreement. You know, that's one of those shows that could have got a 7-8 year run. But just the acting in that, some of the best characters, like you could pick the main characters from a lot of these shows and put them up as a one gotta go.
That would, yeah.
You know, like the classic iconic characters from each one of these shows. You got Tony Soprano, obviously. You got Omar from The Wire.
And that'd be a weird pick.
You know, you got Al Swearingen from Deadwood. Why can't I think of Steve Buscemi's character from Boardwalk Empire?
That was a good show.
I never watched that one either.
I forget.
Kirby Enthusiasm up here. So many
For
shows.
me, you can
Larry
do
David.
Adebisi from Oz. Like, yeah.
But when I found out dude from Oz wasn't really in a wheelchair,
Justice.
Blew your mind, huh?
I didn't want to watch the show.
Justice.
Like,
He said, "Wait, this dude can walk." No,
Yeah,
I'm not.
oh, it's hot. It's called acting, and I didn't want to believe it.
Yeah, I mean, Entourage. You know, Curb. I mean,
There's so many different shows.
Yeah.
Curb is still on. Like,
Just ended.
yeah. Like
There's still stuff we missing. Like Steven said earlier, True Blood.
that Sunday night lineup was can't miss every week for years there, where it was Sopranos, Entourage, Curb.
Last of Us.
It was just
That's gonna be the
Sex and
future.
the City was on that time.
It's too new.
That's still great. It's
Yeah,
a great show.
Even
yeah.
Game of
I
Thrones
can't believe
spinoff.
you've never seen a single episode of The Wire.
Never did. Mm-mm.
You got to go
Homework.
back. and watch
That should be some homework. Yeah, that'd be my homework.
Homework. We give Chris homework. Homework.
Jason, man, I need to borrow your card to watch that.
I don't think mine works.
Oh, wait, Jason, did you like this?
You gotta
Jason,
hold
did
it
you
right.
like the final season of Game of Thrones?
No.
All right, so you were
Man,
like everybody else.
oh,
You got
no.
invested
Yeah.
for 7 years.
No.
I felt let down.
I was just like Jason too. They was because my sister and my mom watched it, and they hyped up Game of Thrones like every year. You have to watch it. No. It was like the final season's coming on. You have to watch it. So I blitzed through it, and then when the A season came on, I was like, I wasted my time.
Don't nobody want to see dragons and shit. That was my whole attitude going in. And I was hooked, boy. You would have seen me out here with a white wig on.
Now, you know, so well, you can sign off and then we can discuss
Oh,
afterwards.
well, that was this week's edition of One Gotta Go.